Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey here on Daybreak, and I've got a great guest in studio once again. We talked with him last time. It's Scotty Mills from Keller Williams. Good morning, Scotty.
Hey, morning, Jeff.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
It was nice having you on a couple weeks there talking about the real estate market. You from Keller Williams. We'll put the links to all the addresses, how folks can get in touch with you. Good website, nwcustomhomes.kwrealty.com. That's on your business card there, and some other ways that we'll put in the show notes. Preparing for our conversation today, you sent me a pretty interesting statistic that over the last 7 days, 38 homes were sold.
Correct.
That seems like a huge number, especially for it being now fall. And for, I traditionally, for whatever reason, only think of a housing market when it's nice, spring and summer, maybe just because more people are out. But this shows that all year around, people are looking for places.
Yeah, it's been pretty strong in the Northwest market. We are up from last year 11.8%.
Wow.
So it's a great increase in the return on investment for those out there that are looking to get their homes on the market. And having those 38 sold in the county, we did our Northwest MLS snapshot, and we have 44 active listings out there currently that came on market in the last 7 days.
Is that also a large number for the beginning of October?
I sometimes it changes. The numbers, I think last year comparison to, we had more because we had more inventory.
Okay.
So as the inventory shrinks, of course that makes prices go up
there.
You have that shift. So it's a good number to see. And that demonstrates that fall is not usually traditionally called the fall fix-it-up time. It's people are saying, hey, if the market's good and the rates are still good and the median price in this community for the county is $170,000, it's just affordable, depending on, other things being equal, it's great numbers.
Are we still in a buyer's market or a seller's market, and how do those become defined?
Well, they pretty much are defined by how much month inventory you have on the market. So when you have less, that becomes pretty much that seller's market. And when you have more choices, then the buyers are kind of out there going, hey, I have all these options. Let's go look at 26 homes this weekend. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. There's
Sometimes
people
that
will do that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so right now, I think it's still pretty solid for the listing folks.
Talk to me about how you would, I know you don't want to dissuade anybody from looking at potentially their future home, but 26, that is a lot of listings to go to, not only for the person thinking about buying, they'd imagine all blur after a certain number, but for yourself as well, looking to show folks when you know that they may have some certain needs or some financial restraints that may get them from a higher priced house. What do you do to sit with them and talk with them about this maybe not, let's look at this type of home, let's not look at this type of home?
Correct. And 26 homes is a lot, in my opinion. So if I'm going to sit down with somebody, as Dad used to say, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Let's listen to what the client is looking for and kind of narrow that down. And the more you can kind of get from them what their needs are, school district, neighborhoods, that will certainly shorten what you're doing down. And that, as a real estate professional, you're doing your job and your client a service. They have the internet, and they can search all kinds of things over there until they can narrow their search.
Okay.
And then what we can do is help them narrow that down by knowing a lot more than what they may be able to see just through an internet resource. So there's a lot of value in sitting down with a real estate agent or someone such as myself, which we like to have them do that, and talk about that process.
So is that somebody who knows they want or need to move, but they're not entirely sure what they're looking for? Is that where you get these, well, let's go check out another home. I know there's got to be another home. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know it's out there. Something like that?
Well, with the internet and a lot of places, it's that shiny object thing.
Okay.
Well, I like this one, but hey, well, maybe that one's going to come up, or what else is coming up on the market. And there's some people that are kind of on the fence. It's a scary process for a lot of folks. So traditionally, we sit down and meet with the buyer and know what their purchasing power is too. Have you met with a lender? because you don't want to go look at $400,000 homes and they get their heart set on it and say, oh, well, I only qualify for 350 or or 50.
Yeah, or 50 for that matter. It is important to get those numbers. One other kind of unique wrinkle in the fold now here, at least in the great state of Washington, is this Hearst decision. And I know that it impacts the residents and potential residents of Mason County. It is a very complicated issue with a lot of moving parts on this, with the legislature looking to shore up some information and the Supreme Court bringing down their ruling and recommendations on this. I've noticed that you have a link to a video put forth by the realtors on this decision. Quickly, can you give me a elevator speech on the Hearst decision and kind of how you navigate it through with potential home buyers?
Okay, and on that video I found the cartoon version, as I call it. So if someone wants to grab a big bowl of cereal and pretend they're back in the 70s, on a Saturday morning,
watch the cartoon.
Yeah, it's a 3-minute kind of thing there, which is really nice for somebody to give them a platform to go, okay, I kind of get a little bit of what's going on here, because you can go on and search some more sites that go into more detail.
Right.
So essentially, it's no pun intended, uncharted waters for us a little bit, because we're waiting to see what's going to happen in the legislative session with that Senate bill. But right now, what I'm doing, I'm showing a vacant land property this afternoon. We would go to our local jurisdiction and find out what their take is on that. So it's up to each municipality and county how they're kind of dealing with their Growth Management Act, how they feel about that whole process. So,
I'd imagine this really would, if someone is thinking about putting down hundreds of thousands of dollars on an investment, they really need to make sure that the potential is there for them to do the well, or it already has some water avails. Are you finding that some folks, especially when land is the issue or looking for land, that this decision is really impacting their thought process?
Well, it's going to have to definitely get educated on it. It's not the traditional health department, I got an approved well on site, an existing well. If there is an existing well on that property, you need to kind of do your due diligence and find out, can I pull water from that well, and find out that. And traditionally, when I'm working with land folks and we sit down, they go back to the basics of what are your soils. You got to make sure that the health department is going to allow you to have, is it going to perk for a septic system, that the health department is going to tell you based on your soils what type of system is going to be prudent to put on that property. And then you have your water and your well radius relationships and stuff. And then, of course, power. So we've got to kind of get an idea of what that development cost is going to be. And then pretty much your home will fit that.
Right.
So you don't want to go out and say, God, I love this 4,000 square foot house and I'm going to put it right here. And then you go, whoa, I can't. Maybe I better think about 1,500 or 1,100 or accommodate your home to what your development costs are going to be.
There's a lot of, like you said, uncharted waters to navigate through, and a lot of RCWs that folks have to try to wrap their brains around. And I know that that's a lot of the training and things that you guys do, is you have to understand this so somebody off the street can come in and understand whether or not this is going to be even workable for them.
Yeah, and having a good clients for resources for our clients. Working on a project in it's Pierce County, and I have to have a hydrologist go out to the site, and then he'll do a report. So another example might be if you have a wetlands, typically have a wetlands biologist go out and categorize what your wetland is. Now you got another player in the game. He's called the hydrologist. So
right. Wow.
He has to go out and what's the impact going to be?
Isn't that something? Well, it is. That's going to be a long conversation, because we'll need to see what the legislature, you said, is going to be working on.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound like the answer the Supreme Court gave the state was too happy with.
Yeah. Right.
So there is going to be maybe some work this upcoming session. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that could. You think that'll impact the selling of homes in Mason County, or the buying of land in Mason County?
Well, I think this is just around the land development, probably perhaps new construction. But the realtors have a strong pack, the RPAC, and we have our clients' back. So something like this that comes up, which originated up in Whatcom County, I think it's going to be fine in the end. It's just unfortunate that something like this comes up and you have this whoa moment.
Yeah.
Of, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Wow. Scotty, how can somebody get in touch with you if they're in town for this Oyster Fest this weekend? They were hoping to see you on stage, play some music, but you got the weekend off. You're going to be out maybe showing homes. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, not going to play music this year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No jokes. No. My wife will be happy about that.
For sure. So it gives you the weekend to show some houses off, perhaps.
Yes.
How do we do that?
Well, again, I'm one of those guys. You can call me or text me at the 253-405-2936. Always love to get together with people and field questions. And even if it's not about real estate, you just want to get together and chat about some things, I embrace that. The other thing is through your show and your show notes there. If people want to make a comment or something on there and say, hey, I have a question about this, maybe next time we get together,
okay,
I'll be prepared and we can talk about
that.
that.
That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. I'll put those links to the website too. And what's the website again?
That northwestcustomhomes.kw Realty. Yeah, it's on there.
Very nice. Also
and then my email, scottymills.realtor@gmail.com.
We'll put the links to all of these on the show notes here, and we'll link up that video that we were talking about on the Hearst decision, so people can maybe get a little bit more on that.
Yeah.
Very cool. From Keller Williams, he's a real estate expert. Scotty Mills, always good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, Jeff.